Trying to set it back down.
Fresh certified Angus boneless beef roast. Bottom round, eye round, or chuck. $6.99 per pound. Extra large sweet cantaloupes. Just $3.99 each. Just $2.79 for select varieties of Ragu pasta sauce. Selected varieties of Arm & Hammer laundry detergent. $8.99 for a 75-ounce bottle. Only $1.29 for a 4-row package of 2-ply bathroom tissue. Visit our website at www.marketplace.pm for more super specials.
You can count on us.
Live from Bermuda Broadcasting, this is ZBM TV9 News.
Good evening, everyone. It's Tuesday, March the 6th, 2018. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us tonight. After days of wintry weather that left thousands without power, winds have been weakening this afternoon and evening. Belco says it hopes to have everyone reconnected by the end of the day. While all transport services are back to normal, Hal Davis brings us up to speed.
The island's ferries were the first transport option to shut down, but today all services were back running. Belco is hoping it'll be a similar story with power. Thousands were left without electricity after high winds overnight.
We had around 3,800 customers out this morning. We had several circuits go out throughout the night. We stopped chasing our tails because the minute we put it in, it'd come back out. This morning we started afresh. We were at 3,800. We're at around 900 at the moment, so we're making steady progress. We hope to have everyone on by later today.
So was the company caught by surprise? It says it was as ready as possible.
It's been a few years since we've had one this heavy. We're as prepared as we can be in terms of resources and materials and all that. It's just a matter of getting out and doing the repairs, really.
The storm saw winds of up to 73 knots, causing some damage and yesterday forcing the closure of Shelley Bay Playground. But government offices, all schools bar one, and even the causeway remained open today and yesterday. Relatively little damage then, apart from the power outages, but the Weather Service says we still have some more wind coming our way.
So we have high pressure briefly passing to the south, but then winds increase 20 to 30 knots again Wednesday night ahead of a cold front that's passing Thursday morning, bringing a few showers to the area. Winds briefly decrease Thursday, and then they're going to be ramping up once again Thursday night right into Saturday, 20 to 30 knots sustained, just as the center of another low pressure center passes to the near north.
So we're not finished with the winds just yet, but at least the battering Bermuda suffered last night is over, for a while at least. Howell Davis, Bermuda Broadcasting News.
In other news, Belco employees down tools this morning over the purported dismissal of a foreman with the company. The workers gathered in the company's parking lot while the executive, the electricity supply trade union, met with management to address the situation. We're told a decision was taken to not immediately dismiss the worker in question, as alternatives were being considered. Once the workers were brought up to speed on the morning's developments, they returned to work. A Belco spokesperson earlier today issued a statement which read, "There is no industrial action currently taking place at Belco." An employee meeting was held this morning, following which employees returned to work. As a matter of policy, Belco does not comment on internal matters. A well-placed source at the ESTU made it clear to us that 1,200 customers still out of service at the time of the approximately 2-hour stoppage. The main priority was to get staff back on the job. That source added some workers did stay on during the short-lived incident to ensure there was no disruption of service. Meantime, parents of Harrington Sound primary school students rushed this morning to pick up their children after the school was closed due to a power outage. Mike Sharp reports.
Acting school principal Mrs. Cindy Weeks and assistant director of the Department of Education, Mrs. Terry Cox, said they had no choice but to advise parents to find alternative care for the youngsters due to an electrical outage. A backup generator was pressed into action to provide minimal power to the school.
This morning when we arrived to Harrington Sound Primary School, we noted that the electricity, a transformer, I believe, actually blew outside of the property, and so the electricity was off. At that particular time, I made the decision to contact the Department of Education to see exactly what we should do with respect to the school and whether or not it would remain open under those circumstances.
Mm-hmm. And the advice was?
I spoke to my assistant director, Ms. Terry Cox, who is right here, and she will take it from there and fill you in.
Ms. Cox?
Yes, we went through our permanent secretary who did contact Belco but was unable to receive a response as to when the transformer would be fixed. And as such, we made the decision to close. We make that decision in order to protect the health and safety of our students and our staff.
Most students were picked up prior to the luncheon interval. Mrs. Weeks said all was running smoothly.
Well, it's actually going quite smoothly. We have a pretty good communication plan here at Harrington Sound Primary School. We have parent reps who are contacted, and they will then contact the parents in that particular class. Teachers also were able to make contact using their own personal cell phones. And so as it stands right now, I would imagine there are just a few children to be picked up. But it went relatively smoothly, and most parents arrived to pick up their children.
And I'm Mike Sharp with Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Well, stay with us. More news in tonight's AccuWeather forecast after the break.
Price Rate is your one-stop shop with something for everyone. Household goods for kitchen, bedroom, and bathroom. Aisles of bulk groceries at value prices. A complete selection of fresh meat and produce. And an extensive range of frozen items to cover every meal. Wines from around the world and beer and liquor at discount prices. Visit Price Right at our 2 locations in Pembroke and Warren. There's always something new and always something for everyone.
Changing every day, in every possible way. Then I open up and see the person falling here is me. 'Cause you're a dream to me.
Made with care, handled with care, delivered with care. That's what dreams are made of.
3 Delwood Middle School teachers and the principal, Tina Duke, have been placed on administrative leave. The staff members in question received letters from the ministry yesterday informing them of the decision to place them on administrative leave. Our sources telling Bermuda Broadcasting News that allegations have been reported by students. We reached out for comment to government. However, they responded that it is the Department of Education's policy that personal matters are not discussed with the media. And still on the education front, it appears the situation involving the closure of the stores department at the Ministry of Education may have been more serious than first suggested. What's more, the problem is suspected of having led to at least 2 teachers falling ill.
It was complaints from a number of public school teachers about a shortage of stationery and other supplies, which first alerted us to the situation. The reason for the delay in delivery of these items, the Ministry of Education and Workforce Development spokesperson informed us, was asbestos had been discovered in the building which houses the ministry's stores department. That meant the facility had to be relocated. Upon hearing the report, a well-placed source at the ministry then told us we were not being given the full story and that the building was also found to be contaminated by mold. In fact, so worrying was the problem, a notice of contravention of the Occupational Safety and Health Act 1982 was sent to the ministry by the Department of Health. The contravention, the order states, was that the ministry failed to remove staff from an unsafe environment. The building had been declared unsafe since 2014 when the asbestos roof was damaged, but the necessary asbestos abatement work was never carried out, purportedly leaving the workers exposed to asbestos dust. The notice ordered that staff be removed from this location at Southside since, due to continuous water damage, the type of mold growth in the building could be considered toxigenic. In other words, the mold can be considered to be producing a toxin or having a toxic effect. Thus, it poses a health risk to workers. And the threat doesn't stop there. The Department of Health indicated that fungal growth was found in boxes throughout the building, boxes used to store school supplies which had been distributed. It's thought contaminated boxes may have been responsible for 2 teachers at a school in the Central Parishes developing mold-related illnesses. The Ministry of Education was given until December 17th last year to have the workers removed. On January 24th, the store's department staff downed tools over what they deemed management's lack of attention to rectify their working conditions. However, following the intervention of Works Minister Lieutenant Colonel David Birch and Education Minister Diallo Rabane, the workers resumed duties at another refurbished building at Southside. Now, also located down here at Southside is the Works and Engineering Stores facility. We're told that it too is infested with mold and mildew, and there is no running water. In fact, when workers have to answer nature's call, they have to resort to a porta potty. Gary Moreno, reporting for the Bermuda Broadcasting News.
In the news, what does it mean for someone to adapt to circumstances? Well, that will be made front and center Thursday evening at the Bermuda College when Dr. Clarence Maxwell will make his presentation entitled Before the Aconiba, the African Colonization of Bermuda During the 17th Century. Dr. Maxwell will focus in part on how enslaved Africans were able to provide for themselves in the face of great adversity.
One of the contributions which they made to Bermuda's agricultural heritage is that they brought with them tropical related agricultural products, and that was an extremely important contribution. And what they ended up doing was in fact revolutionizing that early period of agriculture for Bermuda. So at a time when Bermuda needed to have a staple product at the very early stages of its colonization, they assisted largely, not exclusively, but largely in providing that staple product.
Dr. Maxwell's presentation will be held Thursday evening from 5:30 to 8 p.m. at the Bermuda College Blue Room. He adds the ingenuity of the early African slaves here allowed them to not only adapt, but to avoid starvation that had afflicted other nearby colonies.
That knowledge, one has to remember that during that period, how one approached agricultural and other activities in this new, very, very early colonization period required certain expertise. And part of that expertise included, for a much more economical sphere, would have included, of course, what we know the most for, the tobacco, but you can't eat tobacco. So what you also need, of course, are other products which were necessary for food products. And I think by that period, that may to some extent explain why Bermuda very, very early avoided the large problem that tended to happen with that early colonization period, and that is what they call starving times, when you had large populations dying from starvation or dependent on the ship coming in from England. So they brought with them experience and knowledge on how to, in part, they were not the only ones, not exclusively, there were other populations, of course, but they helped to bring in knowledge regarding how to carry out agricultural activity in Bermuda.
For more information on Thursday night's event, call 236-9000. Now turning back to weather news, a mix of sun and cloud for our Wednesday before another front comes through Wednesday night into Thursday. Here's the latest from AccuWeather headquarters.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
The BF&M Insurance Group is pleased to bring you tonight's AccuWeather forecast. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brittany Boyer, and wow, the last 24 hours have been extremely windy. Probably the hardest hit areas with these wind gusts around the Harrington Sound area, where we've had hundreds of people without power. The wind will continue to relax as we head into tonight, with some improvements as we head into tomorrow. But then we do have another disturbance heading into the area. So looking at things right now, you can see the storm system working its way away from us as high pressure starts to build in, and that brought a wind gust at one point earlier today over 60 miles per hour. So we've had some powerful winds here. Still some scattered showers around the island, and we'll keep those showers around through the nighttime hours. But here we go on the satellite. You can watch that that spin with that area of low pressure work its way away from Bermuda. And on the backside of it, not just the showers we have, but we also have a lot of colder air being funneled in. We've actually watched the water temperature drop about 5 degrees over the last 24 hours. So just an indication of how powerful this storm was and all of the impacts we saw with it. And of course, not just a windy day today here on the island, but also an unseasonably cool day. Temperatures look to be a little bit closer to normal by the time we head into your Wednesday. So something to look forward to, right, after a very windy time here. Temperatures right now across the island in the low 60s. Winds are out of the northwest, 18 to 22 knots. And again, that water temperature going down 65 degrees. Waves inside the reef 3 to 5, and outside of the reef we're still looking at some very choppy conditions. So for tonight, temperatures falling into the upper 50s. We'll call it partly cloudy. The winds will start to relax, but it will be a little bit breezy out there with some spotty showers, and still breezy into tomorrow, especially by the time we head into late tomorrow. So the evening hours, the overnight hours ahead of a frontal boundary, we'll start to see those winds picking up once again. But temperatures looking a lot better for tomorrow. But if you're heading out on the water, we still have those very rough conditions. So the Bermuda Weather Service has a small craft warning through Thursday. So keep that in mind. Your tidal times right there. High tide 1 coming in tonight at 11:55. So still some rough conditions here on the island. Other locations, Toronto looking at rain and snow showers tomorrow. New York City tomorrow could see as much as 6 to 12 inches of snow. So heads up if you're headed back home, or perhaps if you're doing some traveling. Some of our islands, Jamaica, Barbados, and Trinidad, looking at some scattered showers out there with temperatures in the low 80s. So tomorrow, an improvement with our weather, still a little bit breezy, and those winds pick back up late Wednesday into Thursday with our cold front. Not looking at a lot of moisture, but we'll have some showers Thursday into Friday, and then very windy as another storm pulls away Friday. So we'll stay windy here right through the weekend.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
I got these for seasickness last week, and they're terrible.
That's strange.
I know. I put one behind each ear like you're supposed to, and nothing happened.
These are tablets. You're meant to take them with water.
I got this pump for my asthma. Hasn't changed anything.
Show me how you're using it. It's an inhaler. You're meant to breathe it in.
Well, this toothpaste, definitely off.
It's a hemorrhoid cream.
Well, that explains why my gums are shrinking.
Your home, your life, security. Be fire and burglar free. Right from your phone, monitor, control. Lock safes, doors, gates, business, family safe. You're on the go, and that's okay. BSG with you every
Bermuda Security Group, your security, life safety, and monitoring experts. We're with you every step of the way. Bermuda Security Group, BSG.BM.
Philadelphia International Medicine provides international patients with access to a unique network of world-renowned doctors and surgeons that provide personalized medical and surgical care, connecting you to the U.S.'s leading healthcare specialists who are ranked among the best in the world. Healing is possible when you're confident in your healthcare team. To find out more, contact us at physicians@philadelphiamedicine.com or call 1-215-563-4733.
Welcome back. Last year, the PLP government announced a $300,000 grant for Bermuda College to provide financial support to students. Education Minister Diallo Rabane told MPs during his ministerial statement today that the six-figure grant will be extended to the next fiscal year.
Today we gave the final report on the $300,000 that we gave to the Bermuda College, and as we can plainly see, this money has been helped quite a few students. Last semester we had 186. This semester we had 100, I believe it was 140 odd that were beneficiaries of these funding. What this funding has done is it allows people who may not have been able to pay for school a chance to attend school. One of the things that we didn't realize would be part of it is that the people that are in the Mount St. Vincent Bachelor of Science program are now able to take more classes and then finish earlier, which then helps them out because then they'll be graduating sooner from the Bermuda College and able to get into the workforce. This funding was well received, and we're very happy to announce that it will be made available again the next fiscal year for the Bermuda College. If you look at the recently released Book of Statistics, Bermuda College enrollment has been declining since the One Bermuda Alliance came into power, and that is a direct result of them ending the subsidy that used to go towards students. When the PLP left government, it was 50% subsidy. It was subsequently dropped to 25% and then subsequently to zero. And we've seen the enrollment go down at the Bermuda College as a direct result of that. So when we came into government and I saw that we had money within our budget already and that we could provide to help the Bermuda College out, it was a no-brainer of what we can do with that.
Turning to sports, Bermuda cricketer Delray Rollins leaves Australia on a high. Elijah Daly breaks 5 swimming records in Canada, and Tahira Butterfield helps Albany finish second in indoor championships. Earl Baisden has the details and more in tonight's Sports Report.
Delray Rollins has departed Australia on his way to Barbados with the English Cricket Board's pre-season North-South Series and the NCC side for the Caribbean County match. In his final match, Rollins and Sydney were batting for pride against Renwick Petersham on day 2 of their match. Rollins finished an impressive winter in New South Wales Premier Cricket with an unbeaten 36. Today, ZBM Sports takes a look at Rollins' overall numbers over in Australia. Playing in 5 different competitions, Rollins scored a total of 612 runs. In the bowling department, Rollins took a total of 37 wickets. This after bowling 224.4 overs. He had 36 maidens and he had given up 840 runs at an economy rate of 3.7.
Tonight's sports is brought to you by the all-new Boundary at Fairmount, Southampton, the West End's only sports bar. Catch all the action and enjoy smoked to perfection barbecue, beer, and other pub favorites. It's game on at Boundary.
Yesterday we brought you Elon Daly's remarkable performances. Today we bring you Elijah Daly competing in the Ontario Winter Swimming Festival Championships in Ontario, Canada. Daly competed in 6 individual events, and all 6 times he stood on top of the podium. He broke 5 Bermuda records along the way. Daly won the boys 50-meter freestyle touching the wall in a time of 31:23. Daly's boys 200-meter butterfly gold medal time of 2:30.82 broke the record of 2:40.13 he set back on March 17, 2017. During the Best of the Best meet number 3 in Bermuda. Daly would then touch the wall in a time of 2:31.72 on his way to winning the boys 200-meter medley, breaking his record of 2:36.81 during the Swim Ontario Winter Festival back on February 19, 2017. Daly's boys 100-meter butterfly gold medal time of 1:08.20 broke his own record time of 1:09.71, which he set back on February 18th in 2017. Daly's final gold medal record-breaking performance came during the 100-meter backstroke, and he touched the wall in a time of 1:09.90, breaking his record time of 1:13.41. He set back on December 10, 2016, during the Central Region Championships in Canada. Tahira Butterfield helped her University of Albany's women's track and field teammates finish second in the women's team competition at the IC4A and ECAC Indoor Championships inside the Boston University Track and Tennis Center. Butterfield finished 4th in the women's 60-meter dash finals, clocking a time of 7:64. Butterfield was clocked in a time of 7:59 during the semifinals, advancing to the finals with the 6th fastest time. Butterfield finished 9th overall in the preliminaries with a time of 7:65. Butterfield finished 10th competing in the women's 200-meter final, stopping the clock in a time of 24:85. Butterfield advanced to the final with the 5th fastest time during the preliminaries of 24:32. Nicholas Pilgrim and Caleb Ingham competed in the Claremont Draft Legal Challenge F1 Triathlon. The pair competed in the 12 to 16-year-olds division, which saw the competitors compete over a 375-meter swim, 10K bike, and a 2.5K run. Pilgrim finished second, stopping the clock in a time of 32:35. He finished 13 seconds behind the winner and 3 seconds ahead of the third-place finisher. Pilgrim was clocked at 5:59 on the swim, 16:10 on the bike, and 9:36 on the run course. Ingham finished 13th at the time of 37:40. Ingham had a wetsuit malfunction and could not get his wetsuit off after the swim. It took an official 2.5 minutes to unjam the zipper, leaving Ingham well behind the lead pack. Ingham was clocked in a time of 6:11 on the swim, 18:13 on the bike, and 10:51 on the run. The first ever Confederation of African Football Women's Football Symposium was opened yesterday in Morocco, with Bermuda Football Association's second Vice President Cranston Williams and Bermuda Football Association's Women's Committee Chair Cherise Bean both traveling to Morocco to represent Bermuda. Whilst the Bermuda Football Association's President Mark Wade was in Tanzania recently, Bermuda was invited to the CFA Women's Football Symposium. The invitation was a result of the work being done in Bermuda to promote and grow the women's game. The process in Bermuda has been noticed globally by countries who wish to grow women's football. James Finnegan and his Florida Tech men's tennis teammates look to continue their dominant stretch of early season play as they faced off against Bentley University. The team would fight from the beginning to the end of every match as they would come away with a 7-2 victory. Finnegan and Ricardo Corona would take to the courts in the number 2 double spot, and they would not disappoint, winning their match 8-4. Finnegan would then take to the court for the singles, and also playing in the number 2 spot, defeated George Samander 7-5, 6-2. Dylan Muldoon and his nationally 18th ranked Bates men's squash teammates dropped a 5-4 decision to number 19th ranked Franklin and Marshall in the semifinal round of the Summers Cup C Division at the CSA Men's Team Nationals. Muldoon will be one of the winners for Bates, but needed 5 games to defeat his opponent 10-12, 13-11, 6-11, 11-6, 11-1. At the end of day 1 of the Cleveland Golf Palmetto Intercollegiate hosted by USC Aiken, Walker Campbell and his William & Mary's golf teammates find themselves in 15th place at 18 over par. Campbell is tied 70th after his first round 6 over par 76. Campbell would shoot 2 birdies, 8 pars, and 8 bogeys in his round.
Tonight's sports has been brought to you by the all-new Boundary at Fairmount, Southampton, the West End's only sports bar. Catch all the action and enjoy smoked to perfection barbecue, beer, and other pub favorites. It's game on at Boundary.
I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
You can count on us.
Extra large tomatoes, just $2.49 per pound. Value pack fresh Purdue chicken thighs with drumsticks, only $1.99 per pound. Large inputted white eggs, just $2.50 per dozen. Minute Maid Premium Orange Juice, just $2.99 for select varieties of 59-ounce cartons. Save $1.26 on Lay's potato chips, $2.99 for a 6.5-ounce bag. All stores open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
You can count on us.
Are you required to take one or more medications daily but have a hard time remembering when to take them? Does your family fear you may end up in the hospital because you often forget to take your meds? Or are you a caregiver looking for a time management tool designed to make your medication routine effortless? The Phoenix stores can help. With an MDS Blister Pack, a multi-dose packaging system that makes it easier to manage and take your medication. Each MDS Blister Pack contains medications for the week and is pre-packed, sealed, and labeled by a pharmacist. Prescriptions grouped by the day and the time of day you should take them, whether at breakfast, lunch, dinner, or bedtime. Plus, to ensure you're covered, each pack includes detailed, personalized instruction. Take confidence in knowing you're using your medications as the doctor planned. Visit the Phoenix stores to chat with the pharmacist and get your MDS Blister Pack today. The Phoenix stores, for a better life.
Calling all bargain hunters, you'll be pleased to know there's a new thrift shop in town. It's all to raise funds for cancer care. PALS has opened its first thrift shop at its location on Point Finger Road. Executive Director of the charity, Colleen English de Grillo, was presented with flowers at the opening event for her efforts in developing the idea to open what she describes as eco-friendly fundraiser to benefit the community. Governor John Rankin was tasked with the ribbon-cutting duties and spoke to the importance of the charity.
There are many good charities on this island, but I am really very pleased to be associated with PALS and to hopefully help to support them, because I know firsthand from speaking to those who have benefited from PALS work just how good this organisation is at helping those who are going through cancer treatment, helping them in the community and helping their families who are also supporting them at that difficult time. And I've met patients who have told me the real difference that this charity makes.
And that's our newscast for tonight. I'm Diane Brewer. Thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Good night.